For this episode, I have a really hot topic I want to talk about.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, don't laugh.
All right.
But before I tell you what I'm going to talk about, let me give you of
Okay.
an example of what I'm going to talk about. Do you follow the baseball at all? Major League Baseball.
Enough.
Okay. So
Enough.
when I
Yeah.
was a kid, I was a Yankees fan. And back in the George Steinbrenner days, do you know what they required all the Yankees players? You know one thing with Derek Jeter in that era or whatever.
I hated the Yankees, so no.
Oh man, I'm sorry about that. But the championship Yankees, they were always Steinbrenner always required them to be clean shaven.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's
And
right.
so just recently, I was in a restaurant somewhere, and I talked to a friend of mine there, and they go, "Man, can you believe it? The Yankees had just played the night before in the playoffs." And he goes, "You remember all the Yankees used to be clean shaven?" I go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I said, "Did they change that?" He goes, "Yeah, every one of them have beards now." And he goes, "They lost last night, and the only person that got a hit or got a home run was clean shaven. Everybody that had beards, they got out. They either struck out or
That's
they
right.
they popped out or whatever." And he was just on a rampage. Like they need to go back to the requirement that they have to be. That's the key. I'm not sure if that's the key or not, but you know what? If they won championships when everybody's clean shaven, maybe go back and do that. So here's what I want
Try
to
it.
talk about. Not being
Okay.
clean
Okay.
shaven. I know.
Okay.
Do you need a shave?
I
But
do. I do.
I want to talk about some small things that I think lead to success. Now, you probably will not find them written in a book, in a business book, in a executive coaching book or whatever. But here are some things that, in my experience, some little maybe overlooked things that I felt like led to success in my business. Can't
Okay.
prove it 100%, but I don't
All
wanna
right.
try doing another business without doing these things. So can I share those with you?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Number 1, I call it meeting discipline.
Okay.
I absolutely hate being in run-on meetings that go on and
Oh,
on and on and on.
amen.
So I made it a point, if I'm involved with a meeting, whether it be with a client or whether it be with employees, that we're number 1, we're going to have an agenda for that meeting so everybody knows what the topics are gonna be discussed, and number 2, we have a start time that we start on time, and we have a stop
Yep.
time, and we stop on time. And I like to be disciplined about that. There are always exceptions, I get that, but the rule needs to be if there are meetings in this office, it needs to follow this protocol because we need to respect other people's time, and if you just have an
Yes.
open-end meeting, there's always gonna be somebody to take advantage of that and just take it off on these rabbit trails, and nothing gets done. I hate that, I hate that, I hate that. So having meeting discipline for me is one of the overlooked characteristics that leads to business success.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I wish more did that.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 2,
What else?
I am a stickler for this. I am a stickler, and I'm sure my employees hated it, but returning emails and phone calls
Oh.
promptly, promptly. As you can imagine, in IT support, which is what we did, we got a lot of requests either through emails or we had a help desk system, and that would bubble up to our email as well. And I to this day, even outside of business, it could be anything. If you email me, I try to respond in a timely way. And I will tell you, this concept was reinforced to me by an attorney in our area, very successful attorney. He was high profile criminal defense attorney in our area. He was always getting the high profile cases. And I heard him give a talk one time. And I know this guy is extremely busy, extremely in demand. And he said, I never leave the office until I have responded to every email and every voicemail. And I was
Wow.
shocked by that because I can imagine what that guy's inbox looked like. He said, "Now I
Right.
don't always have an answer, but I owe them a courtesy of a reply." And he said, sometimes my answer is, I'm sorry, I was in court all day. I did not have a chance to look at this, but want you to know I saw it and I will respond by X. Just a courtesy of a response. If I were to ask you a question right now and you just look blankly at the screen, Kent, I think, "Wha is he ignoring me? Can he not hear me?" or whatever. That's what a client thinks when they send you an email and they don't get a response within a certain amount of time.
Right.
So as a
Yeah,
matter
that's
of
great.
fact, we put it into our SLA, our service level agreement at some point that we would guarantee a response, not necessarily a fix, but when there's an issue in the help desk, we would guarantee a response by the end of the day. And sometimes, if depending on the severity of the problem, it might be within the hour. But we had certain times that we had to respond to that. And
Okay.
so I was a stickler about that, and I got really irritated with, particularly employees, even when I would send an email requesting something and I would go all day and not hear a response. I
Ooh.
called them in on that. That's not the way we do it around here. I
Okay.
know you may not can get to it, but at least you can respond to me and say, "Hey, I heard it." That to
Right.
me, I can't prove it, but to me, that is a telltale sign of somebody that's gonna be successful as long as they can do the basics of whatever their business is, but they have a way to promptly respond to customer needs, customer requests, and employee needs, and it goes both ways. When an
Sure.
employee would request something of me, I felt that duty to respond to them in a timely manner as well, so it's both ways. I'm a stickler for that. Returning emails and phone calls. All right, number 3, and
Got
this
it.
sort of goes with number 1, but being respectful for other people's time.
Okay.
Again, this is big for me. Um, when you set up a meeting with the client, with an employee, with an employer, whatever it is, and you say it's gonna be 9 o'clock, you need to be there before 9. You don't need
Okay.
to be rushing in at 8:59. Be
Sure.
there ahead of time, be there on time. I I think this was reinforced to me because I dealt with attorneys all the time. I was in attorneys' offices all the time. And as you know, what is the currency of attorneys? It's their time. Their
Time.
time is very precious. And so I was always very mindful, even if I had an issue I needed to be discussing with the attorney, whether it be about a network issue or software, whatever it was, I didn't want to abuse the time I had face to face with them because I knew every moment I'm there beyond the time in which I'm dealing with their problem, I'm taking away from their billing capability. That was
Right.
became a I was acutely aware of that. And by the same token, I was aware of it in our business because all of our people, most of the people build their time. So I didn't like it when an employee would just wander into my office and just want to shoot the breeze. I
Of
mean,
course.
I hate we can do that at lunch, we can do that at the end of the day or whatever, but in the middle of the day, I've got things going on. By the
Right.
same token, I'm sure I didn't go to an employee's office or an employee's cubicle and just, let's say, in the middle of the day, shoot the breeze. They've got things they've gotta do. Being
Right.
respectful of people's time is so very important in business because we all have the same amount of hours in the day. I'm
Yes.
not saying not be cordial, not be you can make small talk, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, it's a great day," or whatever, but come in, "Hey, did you watch the Monday night game last night?" "Yeah." "Well, hey,
Yep.
did you see, such and such?" Or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for that, but when I have stacks of paper on my desk that I have to get all the way down to the end of by the end of the day, I don't wanna talk about the Monday night football game. I wanna get
Right.
my work done so I can get home and do fun things that I wanna do.
Yeah. Right.
And I know it seems harsh, but that is a discipline I tried to, um, observe in my
Okay.
business. Um, Number 4 is follow through. Doing
Okay.
what you say you will do, particularly for clients. And I used to tell my folks, under promise and overperform. we want to exceed expectations. So, number one, don't set the expectation so high that you may not even reach those. You
Right.
may do a great job, but you set the expectation so high that the client's going to be disappointed. So we'll set the bar. We know we can achieve that and then go beyond that. If I told a client, I'm going to have the server upgraded by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning when people come into the office. I don't care what happens. I don't care if we have unexpected disasters, what have you. We're going to keep, if we have to work through the night, we're going to keep that commitment. Again, I know there are exceptions to everything. There are things that happen, right? But when you make a commitment, you make every effort to keep that commitment, even if it means you stretch to the max. Firm believer in that because it only takes one time falling short of what you said you would do, and you sow that seed of doubt. They really
Yep.
can't do. And so the next time I put a proposal on their desk, hey, here's a big project. I want you to sign off on it. You know what? You didn't do what you said the last time.
Right.
So adamant about that. Always follow
Can't.
through. Same thing for me. If I told an employee, I will review this, or I will look at this, I will have an answer for you about whatever it is problem they might be having. Maybe it's a compensation issue or whatever. I owed it to them to respond and to follow up on that in the time that I told them I would. Doesn't matter what I've got on my plate. It may mean I have to stay up till midnight working on that after I've finished all my other work. But if I
Right.
promised them an answer in the morning, I'm gonna stay up and I'm gonna get it done. Your word is your bond. That's the old saying, but I'm a firm believer in that. And it doesn't take one or two times of breaking that and you've broken down trust.
Right. Right.
The final thing probably might be controversial today. And I know people will say I'm old school. Hey, yeah, I am. I'm old school. I think you got to dress for success. You want to be an executive? Look like an executive for crying out loud.
Okay.
So I, and I realize different businesses, there's different attire and whatnot. If you're a builder, look like a builder. If you are a hairstylist, look like a hairstylist. Whatever it is, look the
Right.
part.
Okay.
Like I showed up for work today to do my job. That's what you need to
Okay.
look like. And so my job was
Okay.
working in law firms, and at that time, um, it changed obviously during COVID. I think there
Right.
is swinging back now toward more dressy attire, but attorneys walked around in suits and ties. And
Yep.
so I am frequently in meetings with high-powered attorneys. I didn't wanna come in there looking like T-shirt.
Right.
I wanted them to think that I am a successful CEO. I'm a CEO of a very successful company. That's the image I wanted to project. Whether or not it was true or not, at least I could dress the part.
Sure. That
And
makes sense.
this was reinforced to me, at one point in time, I hired an executive coach to kinda coach me up on
Yep.
you know, doing all the things I needed to do to be a successful CEO. And so we were in another city and we were in a conference room and we were going through some material and we broke for lunch. And of course, I wore my sport coat, to meet this
Right.
guy. He was a seasoned executive, um, older gentleman that had been around um, corporate a long time. And so we had taken our jackets off in the conference room. We were going over stuff, papers and charts and Excel spreadsheets and whatnot. And so we were going to lunch. And I said, hey, the lunch, it was like in this big complex and they had restaurants. I said, we just leave our jackets here. We're coming back here. He goes, oh, no, I never, I never go out without my jacket. I'm like, oh, he goes, it's the image. I was like,
Ah.
you're right. I'm an executive. I'm 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 being coached to be an executive, and he was coaching me, and he was right.
Ah.
It's my uniform. That was my uniform that shows I came to work. I came to re I as the CEO of my company, I represented my company.
Yep.
That meant I had a higher standard even than my employees, and so when I would go make a presentation or I would go to a meeting, I was I was not only representing myself, but I was representing my brand, and I wanted my brand to be professional, successful. I wanted to peop I wanted my shoes to be polished. I wanted my shirt to be ironed, to be starched. I wanted a tight knot. I wanted to look I didn't want them to look at me and say, "Hey, he's a little sloppy dresser." Because then what? If
Right.
he's a sloppy dresser, he probably has sloppy books on he probably also is sloppy in his work. I
Right.
can't tell you that that is what people think and that translates, but I believe, just much like the Yankees that shaved, I believed that if I dressed, that would be the extra little impetus that would help me to get the next contract, the next client.
Right. Right. And it certainly
You think
didn't
those are
hurt.
crazy?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I think, like you said, every industry has a different, dress for success, or many do. Let's just say. I think the follow through and replying to the emails, your phone calls, that's just basic communication. You would hope.
Yeah. Oh, no,
As
well,
far as
you would expect, but I'm telling you, time and
right,
again, I was shocked at people, good skills people, and just didn't have that basic understanding. I just need to respond.
right,
That blew my mind.
right. Yeah, and the meeting. Oh, if only you were king of the world and could put your scepter out and make every business meeting tight and on target
Yes.
and done when it promised to be done. Oh
Yes.
yes, that's hallelujah on that. But I can see also, when it's respectful, when you have to get so much done within a half hour, let's say,
Mhm.
or an hour, then it keeps you focused, and then it keeps the momentum going.
And you don't
Whereas
dread the
if
meetings. I mean, if you have, and I've been in those, the run-on meetings, they go on forever, and I hated them, I dreaded them, I couldn't wait. But if you know, okay, this guy runs a tight ship, and if he says it's gonna be a 30-minute meeting, it's gonna be a 30-minute meeting, that's
yes,
fine. Yeah, I can do
yeah,
that.
you build confidence and unity and stuff. I was in a company at one point where we said the worst four words you could. So one lady was infamous for meetings that went never stopped, and so the joke was the four words you never want to hear was this lady's name. It said, or sorry, I guess it was three words. Lady, please elaborate. And because that just guaranteed an hour. That
Yeah.
just guaranteed another hour in the meeting. And so, yeah, I totally, and men do that too, but
Yeah.
it was just like, yeah,
And there's
I would love for
always
that.
those people, it's just personality trait or whatever that like to just kinda expound or whatever. I had them, and so I knew who was like that, and if they ever did that, and it's a meeting that I am chairing, then I would have little things that I would do to try to squelch that, like, "You know what? We're
Yeah,
gonna put that on the agenda for the next meeting. We don't have time for this one, but that's a good issue you've raised, so I'm gonna put that
yeah,
down for us to address next time when we have time."
right.
So, just things like
Perfect.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can see intangibles. Maybe they make it. Maybe they help you win the game. Maybe
Yeah.
they don't.
They don't
But
hurt you. They do not hurt
they
you, and
don't
I am
hurt.
convinced they help you. Yes.
Right. Right. Definitely do. Thanks for sharing those.
I want you to see that top button next time, Kent. I'm joking.